All right, picture this. The intense heat, the constant pressure, that relentless shout of, "Yes, Jeff." It's an environment of pure controlled chaos, right? Where genius and total burnout are just a razor's edge apart.
Okay, now let's just flip that completely on its head. Think about those worn-down factories, those long highways that promise a Friday night escape, and that raw, poetic voice of working-class America. You know, a world of grit, glory, and rock and roll.
So how do you possibly connect those two completely different worlds? Well, a recent web exclusive from CBS News just dropped a piece of casting news that does exactly that. So we're going to break down how the star of one is about to become the icon of the other. Okay, let's dive right into this. You know, sometimes the biggest news comes in the smallest packages. And in this case, it was just one sentence in an interview description that has the entire entertainment world buzzing. So here's the bottom line. The actor who we all know as this chaotic, brilliant modern chef is now going to portray a legend whose whole vibe is built on this raw blue-collar power. It's a casting choice that at first seems totally out of left field, but the more you think about it, the more it feels kind of brilliant.
So who exactly are we talking about here? Let's take a look at how our source material, this CBS News interview, specifically identifies him.
And check out the wording here. It's not just his name, it's his defining role. The source explicitly calls him the star of The Bear. Of course, that's Jeremy Allen White, who millions of us know as the tormented Chef Carmy. That's his calling card in the culture right now.
All right, so that's one half of the equation. Now let's look at the other side, the monumental figure he's about to become.
And there it is. The source doesn't just say musician. It uses the title rock legend Bruce Springsteen. And that title, wow, it carries the weight of decades of music, millions of fans, and the story of a very specific part of America. We're talking about the boss himself. This slide really just lays out the incredible creative leap we're talking about. On one side, you've got this modern, conflicted genius. On the other, the absolute embodiment of timeless rock and roll. But you know, maybe that gap isn't as wide as it seems. They're both stories about intense, all-consuming dedication to a craft. The real question is, how do you bridge that gap on screen? Well, that bridge between these two worlds, it's the film project itself. This is the vehicle where these two American archetypes are going to collide. And the movie that's going to see Jeremy Allen White transform into the boss, it has a name that's just as evocative and just as gritty as you'd hope. As cited directly in that CBS News source, the film is called Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. I mean, come on, that sounds like a lost track from one of his classic albums, doesn't it? It's just full of that desperation, that hope, and that search for a way out. And it's that CBS News web exclusive, the extended interview with Jeremy Allen White, that gives us all these pieces of the puzzle. The actor, the legend, and that amazing film title. Understanding where this all comes from is really key to seeing the big picture. So when you put it all together, the intense actor from The Bear, the rock legend himself, and that powerful, searching title, it all boils down to one massive, lingering question. Can the guy who brought us the frantic energy of Carmy's kitchen really, truly deliver the soul of Bruce Springsteen? It's a huge challenge, an epic one, really. And now, I guess we all just have to wait and see if he can, in fact, deliver us from nowhere.